Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live. And I know you've been waiting for this for a while, but sometimes technical difficulties even get of the dragons. But I promise you, the dragon of this sport is going to make up for it here and some, because he's got a lot to get off his chest. As tomorrow afternoon on St. Patrick's Day, he's going to tell us why he doesn't need the luck of the Irish. He's going to tell us why he's not worried about his fate or his fortune when it comes to that Resurrection Wrestling National Openweight Championship. He's going to talk about what he's done to the man he's going to face off with once again, that may used to have called himself a king, but certainly very well comes across as a queen when it comes to our beast dragon that is in dragon beast mode when what we saw from him at lockdown last month. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest needs no further introduction, but because he's waiting for a long time for this, and so many people in the Resurrection Wrestling locker room have gotten that same introduction. You know it, I know it, and he knows it, that he needs and deserves to get that championship-like introduction as he makes his long-awaited debut to Sportswire Radio. And King Rage, you might have used to have called yourself a king, but I'm going to tell you that it very well could be checkmate, as our guest tonight looks to outdo you when you came on to Sportswire Radio less than 2 months ago. As I stated, our guest needs no further introduction. He's a champion. Let's give him that resounding championship-like introduction, literally less than 16 hours away from Patty's Day, Fate or Fortune from Resurrection Wrestling. Let's get right to it. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, global sports show, the reigning, defending Resurrection Wrestling national champion, the dragon of this sport. His name is, simply put, Golddragon. The champ is here. My friend, it was certainly quite a delay, but we knew it, and that's what all that counts. And how are you, my friend?
I'm excellent. How are you, Tom?
I'm great because I'm speaking with the champ, and life couldn't be any better. Here in New York at 11:27 p.m. on a Saturday night, most people will be getting ready for Saturday Night Live to watch, but we are Saturday Night Live on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And we have the reigning, defending Resurrection Wrestling national champion yourself, and it is an absolute honor. And champ, you are literally less than about 16 hours or so from match time coming up here at Resurrection Wrestling's Fate or Fortune. It's a stacked card. My old buddy Jimmy Controversy is going to be on the show against Mac 10. You know I'm going to ask you about that and ignore what D'Angelo LaFlame is saying about your spelling. It was technical difficulties, and it's really a work of God that we got you through here. So forget about the spelling. It doesn't matter because what you do in the ring is certainly beast mode. That's why you are the dragon of wrestling. And for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, Drake Golddragon, tell us why that certainly the luck and the fortunes of King Rage are going to continue to dwindle because you are going to beat him once again. And tell us how you're going to do it.
Once again, I got King Rage, or as both was known, the Queen Rage. He's not he's not all that in the ring no more. Since I have shown my face, he's been hiding and ducking out like everybody know he would. And I said I beat him other by a stunner, one wing of dragon, or I might bring out a new move. I don't know how I'm gonna beat him again.
Interesting you say that. Now, I listen, I'm with you. I certainly think you're the champion. You deserve to be as confident as anybody can be because we saw what happened last month. You certainly showed a lot of people. And like you said, you made King Rage really become Queen Rage and certainly have no rage at all. But is there a concern from your vantage point tomorrow here live on Sportswire that you could say anything that could maybe bite you when it comes to the maybe Mr. Rage looking to maybe get out his rage and maybe show you that last month was a fluke?
The only concern I have, he's sneaky fast.
For sure,
Like,
absolutely.
cause last time I faced him, I never seen nobody counter one my finisher into a roll up. Now that the only time he caught me by surprise. The only thing else that I'm really worried about is the RKO. Other than that, I got Rage beat in every aspect of the match. Anything he can do, I can do it 10 times better than he can do it.
Well, your move set is obviously speaks for itself. I mean, you're obviously more of the wrestler than he would be. So there's no overconfidence from your standpoint right now.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Feeling myself. I'm happy. As we see, I still retain my belt against Rage, matter of fact. And I would gladly beat him again and again and again.
Well, you did. You actually beat him 3 falls to 2. So you did do that
Yep.
actually in 15 minutes. I'll give you that much. I don't know if Rage had been pinned 3 times in 15 minutes ever before, but you certainly did that. And that takes a lot of credit. And he's had an impressive track record, but you've certainly been the man that has more of the impressive track record. But let me ask you, though, this question in going into a match like this tomorrow. Again, it's an early start time. It's St. Patrick's Day. We know the environment. People are going to be festivus. It's luck of the Irish. Everybody's Irish, even if you're not Irish. I was out today and people were asking me about St. Patrick's Day. And I was like, well, everybody's Irish for one day. But let me ask you, though, then this question. Do you do anything differently, or is it the same blueprint that got you to the resounding victory over Rage last month at Lockdown? Do you change anything from last month or what?
I'll say I gotta change a few moveset of mine because I can't show him the same thing that he already saw last time. So I gotta do something new to make my moveset spicy and to keep him guessing on what I'm gonna do next.
And don't tell us you're live on Sportswire, champ.
Oh,
You
of course
know.
not. Of course not. I know he's watching. I know he's watching. Whew.
For sure. And it's funny you said that. As I got so excited, my mic actually dropped. What I was going to say was I've been doing this for over 5 years, and before I always have a challenger or a champion the eve of a showtime or a title shot or even a championship defense in your case. I always tell whoever it is that's been on the platform over the years, don't say anything that your opponent's going to basically take note of and use it against you. So I always say you're in the right place. But you've watched so many of these shows anyway, so you know the deal, champ. But
I
I
do.
wanted to ask you the formal question. I know a lot of people want to talk to you. We're obviously excited to have you. It's an absolute honor. We love Resurrection Wrestling here. I cannot say enough good enough things here. Steven Silvestri is doing a phenomenal job. You might not agree about that, but I want to give big shout outs to Ronnie Brady, of course, the West Memphis Kid, and Joseph Tibbs, everybody in the locker room that's come on here. I'm going to certainly talk about Mr. D'Angelo Flame in a little while. He's coming on Wednesday and his birthday. But, I did want to ask you formally, so what does it mean to you to be the Resurrection Wrestling National Champion? What does that mean to you in your career?
Means that I have a huge target on my back that no matter what happened, if I'm still champion, I can't get rid of that target. Meaning, I'm the next placement holder to see how everybody can compete or, kind of grow in this business. I'm the one that really determines everybody's fate or fortune going against me.
That was pretty clever, actually. I have to say, I liked how you actually used the show card there. So that certainly shows that you're paying attention there. But do you feel pressure as champion with all the people that we have in Resurrection? Obviously, D'Angelo has been extremely impressive. We certainly have Dustin Alexander as the new champion, and I'll ask you thoughts on that. I mean, do you feel pressure currently in your position?
I feel a lot of pressure, but I don't let it get to me no more. Because when I first started off first a champion, the next match it was like, well, am I still gonna be champion after this match? So that's a lot of pressure on every match because the ones who deserve the title shot is the ones that I think highly of.
Why did you have or feel the pressure early on? Why did you feel that way?
First time being champion, and at the same time coming off a gruesome win against Adrian France, kind of left my body sore and me not able to keep moving how I want to move until my pain wore off.
And how did you kind of adjust with that? Sometimes in sports or even in wrestling, a lot of times pain can be something that's almost like an adrenaline rush. It's almost something that it's like a fight or flight moment. I mean, talk to me about that moment.
Well, that surely, I must say, after that moment, it really changed, made me change my aspect of going into every match. Since I'm still in pain, just like, hey, use that as your boost and make sure that your opponent don't see, hey, he's weak and he's limping. So I'm gonna target that specific part to make sure that can get a win over me.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, I have a lot of people that want to say hello. First of all, I'm going to formally say hello to D'Angelo Flame. I'm not going to say every comment he posted just yet, but he basically wanted to say that over and over. I want to say hello to my buddy in our Hall of Fame, the one and only Mr. Joshua Allen, of course, the owner of TBW. And I got my TBW shirt on all day because Resurrection and TBW have certainly had a great relationship. And yes, he spelled it wrong, and I explained why, D'Angelo. Want to say hello to my buddy out there. I think the artist that knows Brad Coleman. Brad's going to come on to Sportswire in the next few weeks to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it's always
evening, Brad. Evening.
Yeah, Brad is actually in the UK, and he's up at 3:36 a.m. their time. So,
wow.
Yeah, we have a lot of British supporters on Sportswire because I started actually in wrestling in England. So I actually would say about maybe 25 to 30% of my base is actually overseas. So we get people from around the world, and Brad's been one of my favorites for a couple of years. So hopefully maybe you'll go overseas one day. You never know. I have a lot of friends in overseas that would love to see you wrestle, champ, like hopefully. I have. You never know. Hope springs eternal. I think you're going to disagree with that. I knew you. That's a champion for us. He got his name from a Chinese restaurant menu. You didn't get your name from a Chinese restaurant menu, did you?
No.
I figured that. I don't think you eat Chinese food, do you? Because I actually don't.
I love Chinese food. I love every food.
Okay, well, you're the champion. You can get right there. I say that I try to limit myself from Chinese food because I get tired from it. I just totally get tired from it. And I'm always tired to begin with. I believe this is Mr. Xavier Thorne. Drake Golddragon, sooner than later, your championship reign will come falling down. We see that Xavier Thorne is back in Resurrection Wrestling. What do you make of him in his return now that we see him overall in the company again?
Another wannabe that's trying to beat the dragon. That's all he wanted to be. Like you can stand out all you want to, because the fact is, a stand up can never beat the Dragon at all. So it is what it is. I'm glad he came back.
Yeah.
So, cause I got another test dummy, I can try some new moves on. That's why.
Wow, you know what? You were certainly coming and swinging on Sportswire. I know we obviously were kind of trying to get you on. We got the technical difficulties, but you made up for it here. And some boy, you went out there and came out fully swinging against Xavier Thorne. Yes, you are the man of 1,000 finishes. If I were to say to you that you might be pound for pound, this is pound for pound in Resurrection, maybe the best technical wrestler, what would that say or
Ooh,
mean to you?
that means a lot, honestly. Because
Tell
that's
me
what
why.
I. Because that's why I kind of focus on. Excuse me.
It's
Because
what
that's
you
what
do
I.
best. Listen, you don't have to go and talk to us on Sportswire. You just go out there and do it, champ. Now, listen, don't worry about your words being twisted. You're the man just goes out there, especially after what you did to Rage. I mean, Rage is a man that's been in main events. When we had the TBW Resurrection Wars, we saw Rage. We saw Rage. We had him here with Cameron Cage. And, he's done a lot, but you have certainly been the man that doesn't have to talk because you back it up in the ring. So don't worry about your tongue being twisted on Sportswire because you just go out there in the ring, and I'm sure tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, it's going to be no different when, from your vantage point, you get another victory over the artist formerly known as King Rage. Like I said, the artist formerly known as King Rage.
I want to say the artist is just he got his title because I wasn't fair at the time. Now I'm here, and you see he's titleless. He's trying his best to get my title, but I'm not letting him.
Are you his
He's
crypt? So are you his kryptonite then?
I'm more than his kryptonite. I'm his weakness in general.
Well, kryptonite's kind of a form of weakness, don't you think?
Yeah, it's one of them. But I say
Okay.
it's not the best one to be weak from, but and the fact is, I know I'm gonna make a lot of people mad, but
No,
it's
no, no.
super.
You're on Sportswire. After the last week, Anthony's Steele's a friend of Sportswire, but after what he said,
Yeah,
there's nothing you could say that would be anything to top that. So say whatever you want.
I'm gonna say Superman is the weakest superhero from all DC because he's scared of a little green rock.
Well, you know what? I hadn't thought of it that way. That's an interesting way to put it. I hadn't thought about that. Well, that's why you're the man of 1,000 finishers, and maybe you're a man of 1,000 words. Down with Golddragon, all hail King Rage from the standout. But you're gonna
And
certainly.
that's why you stand up, because you too busy hiding behind somebody that I already beat.
Mm,
I don't know.
I don't know either. I only know from what I saw last month at Lockdown. But he's not gonna have green on. I'm a pinch him. That's from D'Angelo.
Just for you, I won't have it on.
Pinch. Oh, brother. I'm gonna have a lot of questions about D'Angelo, but I want to hold off for the meantime. But you're getting some pepper here a little bit, to quote those who were into baseball once upon a time. Roddy Alpha run him his title match. And then the general manager, Steven Silvestri, points out you were Mr. 0-2 against Roddy Alpha. What do you want to say on that?
They can only hide behind. They can only hide behind Roddy
Yeah.
because Mr. GM over there not doing his job and not putting him against a title match. So Steven, that's on you. His fate is in
I
your
saw
hands.
also we have new talent come in, and they didn't seem to be too thrilled with Mr. Silvestri. Did you see that as well recently this week? That Silvestri seems like he's having a hard time with certain people in the locker room. What do you think about that?
Of course he is. He's a Mr. Goody Two Shoes. You know that he always want to be too good for his own
What
boots.
do you mean by that? Are you calling him a brown noser? Are you calling him?
Yup, exactly what I'm calling him.
Why do you? And what makes you believe that he's a goody two shoe, a brown noser? What makes you believe all that?
Because everything he's doing for the guys that don't deserve a shot. Like Rage. This is second time against me. He did nothing to earn this opportunity. But nah, here's Steven. Hey, Mr. Rage. Here's your title shot again. Why? He's lost. I sent him to the back of the line. I sent him under Thorn. But nah, how did he manage to get this title shot, Steven?
That's a good question. I mean, that's something that Steven would have to ask, be told for, and spoken with. I mean, I'm sure when we bring him back onto Sportswire, in the next week or two, we could certainly ask him that question. But that's really for Steven Silvestri. It's not my decision. Tom, his hip got him walking with a limp. I want to say hello to my buddy, who I hope is recovering. He's the only two-time Hall of Famer in sports by radio history, Mr. Omen Black. He is the boogeyman of the Midwest. He is the hardcore guy. And I want to give a quick apology to Omen because Omen wanted to come on for a few minutes yesterday on Sportswire, but we had 10 guys on the stream yesterday, and literally I couldn't fit anybody else onto the show. So unfortunately, StreamYard only allows me 10 people, and I couldn't get anybody on else. So it was a wild show last night. It was like the Wild Wild West, kind of like Fate or Fortune tomorrow. Brad is a trooper. Yeah, we love Brad. Brad has been one of my closest friends overseas for over 2 years. Brad is the man. Love Brad. That's why Brad is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Just saying, if I wanted the title, I would have it right now. Nothing you can do about it, just facts. Well, Omen is a big deal in the IMF, but I don't know if you know Omen's work. Have you seen Omen in the ring?
Not really.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say he probably hasn't seen you in the ring, so let's call it a pass. Let's call it a draw. Let's be civil and call it a draw. He hasn't seen you, you haven't seen him, and until then, you do well, he'll do well, and maybe one day we'll cross the bridge when we get there. That was the old adage my dad used to always say. Cross that bridge when you get there. So if Omen shows up here, great. If you show up there, great too. Whatever happens, we'll worry about it when we cross that bridge. And until then, let's support Resurrection Wrestling and let's support the IMF. How does that sound?
That sounds great to me. But
all right, I like that. Mm-hmm.
But man, you sound like an interesting guy.
He does. He's a very interesting guy. He's a very interesting guy, by the way. Very, very. He's almost like that Dos Equis guy in the commercials. And I'm not just saying because it's his show, because I actually know him, and I think that he is a very interesting guy. I mean, he really is. But someone say Cameron Cage. That name ring a bell? Because I've spoke to him before. What do you say on him? Because I happen to know Cameron Cage.
That kind of do ring a bell. I'm trying to. Oh, I get it. The reason ring a bell to me because that was the first person I beat in my debut of Resurrection.
Would you like to see Cameron Cage back in Resurrection Wrestling? Obviously, he came back for the one time only against his old nemesis Dustin Alexander. But I just wonder if you would ever like to see him back in the company.
I would not, because I helped put him out.
Well, that's fair. Well, that's why I asked that question to you. Would you want him back?
That's a tough question, only because I kind of do want him back. Because
so you can beat him up more?
Yeah.
Just like you're going to beat Rage tomorrow?
Ooh, I like that.
I try to work with the people that we have on the show. Steven gives us the eyes, but Mr. Thorne likes to say, unfortunately, you need Malibu to help you. I have no help. When I attacked my opponent after lockdown was because I'm that dude.
Are you sure? Before I do this, are you sure? Are you really that dude? Because if you was that dude, you'll be in this match right now. You'll be holding the title up. That's the crazy part about it. Because as everybody saw, I beat Rage without help.
You did. Correct. You beat him clean. No. You beat him cleanly. You beat him fair and square. In fact, you could have even beat him by 2 falls. It was 3-2, and you almost had another fall there, and you actually correctly got out of the ring the last, 10 seconds, like 9 or 10 seconds. He tried one last gasp, and you actually ran out of the ring. That was kind of clever. I hadn't thought of it that way. That was a clever move there you pulled.
Well, I say, at the end, hey, I'm up. He's not. So if he really wanted to pin me, you got to chase me now. You got to get me.
Do that. He couldn't do it.
He barely could got up.
He did give Neff his job back, and we all see how that went. Well, meaning the former boat.
Bye, Neff. It's our respect and love with Neff. He's a great person to wrestle with. But sadly, he couldn't beat the 2 new pillars in Resurrection.
Couldn't beat D'Angelo the Flame, and D'Angelo's here Wednesday night on his birthday to talk about it.
I might pop in.
You're
Might.
even welcome if you even wanted to come into the chat. You're actually welcome to. If, as a matter of fact,
Thank you, Tom. Cause I got some words for that boy right there. I got some words for him.
you got some words for him. What did you think though? Last weekend, D'Angelo LaFlame made a surprise appearance over in a wrestling promotion in Alabama called the Alliance Wrestling League. He showed up there and he doesn't work for them. And what did you make of that? That D'Angelo
Uh,
What did you make of that? D'Angelo the Flame was on another company's TV with the Resurrection Wrestling Internet Championship. How did that make you feel as a resurrection wrestler? What was that like for you?
as a wrestler, kind of upset, but
Yeah,
as
why
a
were you
person,
upset as a part of Resurrection? Why were you upset?
because the fact that they chose D'Angelo instead of the national champion, somebody that has a title for almost 237 days
Now, my math says that means you have been the champion for over
longer.
seven and a half months, correct? Right?
Yep.
But
But also kind of glad that he went over there, so we can kind of have more people coming into Resurrection and try to work with us, so we can exploit everywhere else without having people say, "Hey, who are these people and why are they here?"
I agree with you that companies should work together. Obviously, Resurrections had a great relationship with TBW. I think that obviously D'Angelo going over there to the Alliance Wrestling League and their roster, they ironically have a Victor Thorne. That's kind of funny for the audience there. They have obviously ADT and AJ Morgan, Dylan Andrews. They have a whole list of great talent there. And I think that we should always want to see talent work with one another. The IMF seems like they've known, and Omen and the guys know you guys here in Resurrection. I only would encourage that because to me, we're about all wrestling matters. Now, somebody here would like to say something, and obviously I don't know who this person is, but she wants to say Freaky Salamander Drake. So I don't know what that might be about, but I'm just going to say I'll move on because we're a family station on Sportswire. We try to be. Uh, the best thing that Silvestri has done is contacting me to bring me in. And trust me, I'm going to be there sooner than later. What did you think about that? That Silvestri put out something that his DMs are open for anybody that doesn't work in Resurrection. What did you make of that?
A big opportunity to show everybody what I can do in person
But
instead
he
of on the
didn't say it
screen.
was you. He said it was anybody in Resurrection that they want to work here or come and wrestle on a show. His DMs are open. I don't know if necessarily about to wrestle you. It was just to be a part of Resurrection altogether. I was just curious, what did you make of that?
Oh, that's kind of interesting that he did that, and I'm kind of happy so I can peek out more challenges
Oh, okay.
along the future of my career.
Good enough. And Omen wants to remind me, I hope you didn't cry for 40 minutes. I hope you wouldn't cry for 4 seconds, but I hope that's not the case. But I'm happy you're here now, Omen. Drake's sucks. Not a fan. He's a boring champion, meaning you. I don't think that's very
Oh,
nice.
she likes me. I
You
don't
think so?
care. Yeah, because I don't care if I'm a boring champion because I'm the longest champion. At
She
the end
also
of the
called
day,
you that's an insult there just now. Just called you a mid carder. That's not nice.
just, there's another person who trying to be a wrestler but can't make it. It's okay.
All right. Well, you know what? I know nothing about that. I know nothing about the world of wrestling, so I'm going to move on and get to somebody else here. Adrian Prince. Ring a bell? Ring a bell?
Yep,
Wild Beast.
the guy that I beat for the title
And the guy that used to be the world champion.
used to.
Used to be. Former
Yep,
ex-champion.
I'm
He
not
said
worried. Well, you can go to sleep. I'm not.
is he trying to imply that you are putting him to sleep with this interview? Is that what he's trying to tell you tonight?
Yes, that's what he is. I'm not
That's
worried
not
about
nice.
him.
That's not very nice. It's Saturday night. I mean, where else would you be on a Saturday other than being on Sportswire Radio? Because I'm pretty happy about being on Sportswire Radio, and I don't think you're putting too many people because we have 19 people that are watching us right now. So I mean, seems like people are watching from all the different platforms. Mr. Thorne says after the match, you still attacking him with Malibu's help.
Oh my God, Malibu.
Now, I want to bring up a comment of a man that is also somebody that's a champion, but is the brand new Resurrection Wrestling World Champion. And what is your opinion of Dustin Alexander, the Machine, Dustin Alexander? What's your opinion on him?
a great wrestler and a dude that I need to get back on. As a person who started out trying to go on at me ever since I started. And lately, since I've been improving, I haven't seen him around coming after me yet.
Well, he pinned Jimmy Controversy, who we're going to talk about in a little while. He wrestled Russell Cooper before Russell Cooper won the Tennessee Backyard Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship, and he took off the Resurrection Wrestling Championship from the hands of Adrian Prince. So, I mean, he's had a pretty impressive run just as much as you have had one, no?
Yeah, he did. He did. But he wasn't the only one who beat Russell Cooper though. He's not the only one that pinned Russell Cooper.
Well, you pinned Russell Cooper. He actually didn't pin Russell Cooper, but he's also pinned the Atomic Titan. He's got a win over Atomic Titan. Obviously, everybody knows the Atomic Titan, right? The Nature Boy Gage Flair, he's got a victory over. So Dustin Alexander's got some major wins. But my point is that he's been just as impressive in the last 7 months as you've been.
Probably more. Probably he probably made a more impression than I did, and I don't like that. So
is it because of the fact he's got wins over Controversy, Titan, Flair, Russell Cooper right before he won the world title, and then took the Resurrection Wrestling world title? Is that maybe why that resume? I mean, that's a very impressive resume there.
It is, but I would say that's one of the reasons. The other reasons, I don't like nobody picking on me before I get fully developed.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. D'Angelo, I'm the only person you haven't beat on your Internet World Tour. So what's up? That's for D'Angelo LaFlame. The Internet World Tour. Is it really an Internet? I guess it is an Internet World Tour, technically, right? Because you're on a YouTube Internet World Tour.
Yeah.
So what about me and you asked the board? I don't think that's for you. I think that's for D'Angelo LaFlame. GM Steven, where are you? Well, good question. Where is Steven Silvestri at? You did nothing for that national title. This person's picking on you there. This person's picking on you there, Golddragon. You're supposed to be the dragon of wrestling. You're supposed to be the beast dragon. This person's picking on you here, I see.
She get no love from me. Everybody can pick on the dragon, but it's up to me to pick back. It's up to me to control how I act towards somebody who think they can get under my skin with just words.
Thorn versus Thorn, because AWL Alliance Wrestling has a Victor Thorn, and you guys now have Xavier Thorn, so we could find out who wins. But guess what? Thorn wins. That's the only answer.
At the end of the day, a Thorn is going to win that match. So we can be Thorn or Thorn.
That was a clever one. That was funny. I kind of like that one. That was a good one. Also, Steve, you're always around when I don't want you. Where are you at? Where is he at? I'm the longest champ too. What's your point? I want to say hello to my very good buddy who was just here. And you saw him. You were on his stream. And now he's saying hello on your stream. That is the one and only, the be-all, Mr. Andrew Lovelace. And what a story Andrew Lovelace has. Andrew, by the way, is going into our Hall of Fame next month on April 23rd, 7:30 Eastern Time. But get this. He's actually a really renowned DJ around the world. He's been in Spain. He's been in France. He's like this really big DJ. And yet he's a pro wrestling star out there in Pennsylvania. For 9 months, he was one half of the Amplified Wrestling Tag Team Champions as a part of the group Violent Love. And they lost the titles, unfortunately, because a guy, Dennis G., interjected in a triple threat, the Brooklyn Prodigies, who actually have a tie. They worked for Jimmy Controversy and Pro Wrestling Venom, and they took those tag team championships away from Andrew Lovelace without even being in the match announced. So it's kind of a bizarre situation, but I'm happy to see Andrew as always. And Stuttering Stanley, that could be an interesting one. He may have a win over Titan, but I had a bigger story and was a greater threat to Titan, return to humanity. But he's got the win over Titan, though. Got the win over
Thorn, nobody cares about you right now, dude. You trying your best to insert your life.
Are you
We done.
saying that the standout Xavier
It's trying to
Thorne
stand out.
is
He's trying his
he's
best to
trying to do
stand
what
out.
he's always done? But hear me out. Is he really what you're saying is kind of on his own island of irrelevancy? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Yes, he's a wannabe Samoan. He's a wannabe Jimmy, Jay, Solo, Roman, and Paul Heyman. He's just a wannabe.
I think he's
What
gonna have to look for his own Paul Heyman though, because I don't think he's got one yet.
he won't. He won't.
Duly noted. Adrian Prince, did you ever get your payment from him? I'm laughing my ass off. Damn man, the dragon isn't. Are you in debt?
No.
So
See. That's the only thing he like doing is bringing up something that happened way long ago.
that's a
That
long
was
time ago.
that was
not recently.
last year.
I was gonna say that's a while ago now in the time machine. Does that? I would even think wouldn't that situation have an expiration date?
It been expired.
That was my point. That's why I brought it up.
I'm about to say it expired the end of 2023.
Today's 2024. Today's March 16th, going on March 17th,
Mhm.
2024. So what does it all mean at the end of the day?
Nothing. It has no kind of remark, nothing. It just
Now, I want to say hello to somebody you probably know, the one and only Nemesis James Taylor. I'm sure you know who he is. Obviously, the legendary Nemesis James Taylor, of course, who is on TikTok. Got 2 million likes recently for his Stone Cold Steve Austin post. So, how you doing there, the Nemesis? And we look forward to the Nemesis coming back to Sportswire tomorrow night. I'm doing great, and I hope that you're enjoying us. Adrian would like to say, no, he's just a self-entitled joke who thinks he can hang with the big leaders of Resurrection. I think he's talking about Thorne, right?
I would hope so because I know he ain't talking about me because I
Because
beat
you
him
got a championship.
twice.
Yeah, you got
I
a
got
championship.
I got a belt to prove it that I took from him. Then when he tried to get it back, I beat him.
Yeah. Well, I got a question. I got a question for you, Drake. What makes you great? Is it that you have so many wins that really doesn't matter being a champion? It's just having gold. So tell me, what exactly makes you great? What exactly makes you great, Drake Golddragon?
What makes me great is my will of passion to wrestle. My will of passion of never say die. Because when everybody else, when they decided to quit, or when
Yeah.
they decide to, hey, I got an injury, I need time to go kind of wear this off, make sure I'm good. I'm out there training, running, trying to make sure that I am at my best shape or form for every match that I do. For everybody that think they can hang with me and think so low of me, like this person right here. What makes me great is I'm the national defending and reigning champion of Resurrection. And
Well, you definitely don't need to be or be made great again because you're already great. So, I mean, to steal a phrase from people that think they're in politics or running for office, you don't have to be great again. You're already great.
thank you, Tom. Thank you.
You're welcome. But I want to say hello to my buddy, the one and only Mr. Hillbilly Tilly, of course, from the Alliance Wrestling League. And obviously, he's their GM, and he had a hand, I'm sure, in Mr. LaFlame from Resurrection going over to AWL. Good evening, gentlemen, and glad to be watching Sportswire. And of course, Hillbilly Tilly is in our Hall of Fame. So, Hillbilly Tilly is one of my favorites. And if you're out there on YouTube, check us out on Sportswire Radio. We're actually 2 subscribers away from 600. So if you're watching us right now and you haven't followed or liked us on YouTube, go hit that sub button. Let's get to 600 subscribers by tonight. I'm at 598. So you only need 2 of you. So if there's 2 people watching, whether you're on Twitter, YouTube, hit that sub button and let's get to 600 subscribers tonight because I want to get to 600. And I also want people to follow Resurrection Wrestling on YouTube and TikTok at Resurrection Wrestling. Patreon backspace Resurrection Pro Wrestling. I'm actually subscribed to the Resurrection Patreon page. What a great guy I am, right? Redbubble.com backspace people backspace Resurrection Pro to get some merchandise. I got to get merchandise later this month. I'm going to do that because I got to support Resurrection as much as I can. Instagram, Resurrection Pro Wrestling. Support these guys. My name is your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. The Reverend Tom Bryson. We are here with the reigning, defending national champion. Just like in college football, you have national champions. He is the Resurrection national champion. We are talking about none other than the Dragon himself, the one and only Mr. Drake Golddragon. And also, Mr. Lovelace says he follows Resurrections. There you go. You have people from the other side of the country, and Andrew Lovelace and all the great guys there at Amplified and Enterprise Wrestling. And I'm actually in the Amplified and Enterprise Wrestling Hall of Fame because we support their cause with great things that they're doing. So I want to thank Andrew for his support and everything else he does. And passion is everything, and you seem to have it. But Mr. Prince says he is talking about you. He's talking about you. And he says, so he questioned being great. He has to be great again. See, the champ is slipping. Are you scared? He's saying that you're slipping.
It's funny. He's a funny guy. I'm never scared. Any and everybody who wants me, he can come get me. I'm never scared of anybody or any challenge.
And we love AWL. Yes, we definitely love AWL, and we do a lot of work with them just as much as we do work with Resurrection and TBW and James Taylor and Andrew Lovelace and all the guys in the IMF because we're about all wrestling matters. Prince tried to make your dreams come true with a little bit of payment, Tom. My friend, you missed an amazing heel turn by me at Lockdown. You'll never know where I strike next. Well, I saw it, but I wasn't there live, so I'd love to have been there live. And I hope if you have a chance, go out there because there's still a few tickets remaining and go out there on St. Patrick's Day. Think about it, right? What could you be doing that would be anything better if you're in the Tennessee area, Mississippi area, anywhere in the South or in the Southeast, as I want to put it correctly, than being at Resurrection Wrestling's Fate or Fortune, right? I mean, your college basketball team more than likely is not going to make the NCAA tournament this year or going to have a good shot. You know, let's not even go into football with the Titans. Let's not even go there, right? I mean, you know, what else could you be doing? There's really nothing else you could be doing other than going to see Fate or Fortune tomorrow. So let me put that out there. Let's see from Xavier Thorne. James Taylor, I want the smoke. Well, that's up to James Taylor and Xavier Thorne, but I would love to see that, but that's up to those guys. Forever promote the business. You know it. I know it. I'm always doing that here. Thank you, Mr. Andrew. We love Andrew Lovelace on Sportswire. Andrew Lovelace. And if you're on YouTube, by the way, go and hit that sub button for Andrew Lovelace. Go follow this man. This man has been in this business for a while. He's got a great story. He's doing it for the right reasons. He's doing it for his brother. He's doing it because he loves the sport. He drove 5.5 hours at one point to go train at the Monster Factory all the way out there in New Jersey. This guy is going to be at a seminar for Pitbull Gary Wolf. He's going to be at another seminar coming up here for a guy from Ring of Honor, the Beer Cruising Bruiser. I mean, this guy, I'm telling you, is a veteran that we all can be proud of. He knows your weakness. What is your weakness?
Nothing.
So then why do you say what's your weakness then?
Because the thing about it, if I had a weakness, why would I tell y'all my weakness?
Because maybe you want to be kind and generous?
Great joke.
I'm actually working on stand-up. People have actually told me that considering I'll probably say something dumb on Sportswire at this point, that somebody else, maybe you'll take the mic and I'll have to try a career at stand-up comedy. So, you know, I'm trying. But want to get to some more people. Go out and pack the building to the roof. Always support pro wrestling. Amen to that. Top row. Okay, let me ask you, though, a question. I got Xavier Thorne in here. I got all that. But how excited are you to get back out there tomorrow in a big crowd, and especially because you're working a bill tomorrow with a man that is very well known, and he's your friend, and he's my friend, and he's many of our friends at Resurrection Wrestling. And we are talking about none other than Jimmy freaking Controversy.
Sarge.
Jimmy's back. The Sarge is back. He's got a huge war up ahead with Mac 10. He had a lot to say about that. And I'm just curious, and you know, what does it mean to you to be back on the same card with our old friend Jimmy Controversy?
Actually, it means a lot because
Dan Brady means a lot. Jimmy means a hell of a lot to the sport.
Jimmy is a big name.
He wrestled Tommy Dreamer. He wrestled Tommy freaking Dreamer.
Then as somebody that grown up watching him, actually see him a person again, that is actually the greatest thing I could really do. Besides going out and being raised, that's the second greatest thing I can do.
Boy, you know your audience there. But let me ask you though a serious question. Do you get a chance to talk to Jimmy tomorrow and ask him advice? Because Jimmy only works for the seventh biggest company in the world in GTS. Jimmy's been in there with Pitbull Gary Wolf. Jimmy's been in there with Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer even quoted Jimmy Controversy on one of his most recent podcasts. Jimmy's a guy that's obviously he's been there and he's seen a lot. His wars with Graham, Dirty Ron. I mean, do you get a chance to talk to Jimmy tomorrow and talk shop and tell him I said hello, by the way?
I got you. Then yeah, like there's always room to improve. So if there's anything that I need to work on, I know Jimmy can be the one to kind of help me step in the right direction of anything that I'm doing right or anything I'm doing wrong that I need to work on or I need to fix. So Jimmy would be a lot to talk to tomorrow.
We have a big card tomorrow, and there's a lot of guys on there. And Jimmy, is a big deal. But do you realistically, how much time do you get a chance to speak with Jimmy tomorrow in the locker room? I mean, it's a big show tomorrow, and everybody's going to want to talk to Jimmy because he's Jimmy. But, realistically, what do you do? Do you just gnaw at his ear? Do you go up to him? I'm just curious on that because it's actually a legitimate question because there are certain guys that go about this in a different way.
I won't say I'm gonna talk to Jimmy at the end of the show instead of trying to talk to him, directly as soon as he get in the locker room or before he gets ready to perform. Because everybody's trying to get into a certain mindset and get ready for their match. So there's no point of me asking that question and he's for to go on, or he needs to think about his match and what he needs to be prepared for instead of trying to be worried about somebody else first, then go out and
Gotcha.
perform.
No, I could completely understand that. And again, here his weakness is promos, getting over to the audience, aka you've always been the second fiddle to the guy in front of him, but it's okay. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll have words, if more actions. But at this point, tomorrow's practically here. So at the end
Yeah.
of the day, can't you say that it doesn't matter about words? What you do in the ring speaks more volumes. Is that something you would
No,
say as a counter?
I'm the silent type. I don't speak because because actions are way more than words. And when
That
I
was what my
and
dad always said. Actions speak louder than words, and I never gave up any real actions. That's why I'm here on Sportswire because all I do is give you words. I had no good actions at anything. That's why I'm here, and I wasn't successful in most things. I'm only kidding, but the point is that you're certainly a guy that goes out there and does it for the way you want to do it in your approach. Let me ask you though this question, and I asked the same question to Andrew when he was on the show. Earlier. Technically, I could say it's yesterday now, actually, because it's in New York. It's actually Sunday, but I'm always curious when I get people here for the first time. What are your goals upcoming for the rest of the year?
my goal is to make my name be the one that people start talking about. Surprise everybody that I haven't surprised already, and also be the world champion in Resurrection.
So does that mean that you're targeting Dustin Alexander?
Most definitely. See, my target might be big, but since Dustin is the double champ now, he have the biggest target
He's got
on
the hardcore
Resurrection.
in the world title. He's a double champion. There's very few people in this sport that can say they're a double champion of any sorts, and he's the man right now.
Yeah, and I'm willing to take everything from him that
So do
I
you
know
want to
that I
be?
can.
Do you want to be Drake Triple Dragon? I mean, you might be Gold Dragon, but maybe you want to call yourself Triple Gold Dragon. Maybe that sounds more like it. Drake Triple Gold Dragon, right? Because you got gold right ready. So wouldn't
Yeah.
you, if you get all those belts, it would be the Triple Gold Dragon? Because I mean, you wouldn't count D'Angelo's belt, but if you got Dustin's belts plus yours, that would make you Triple Gold Dragon or a Triple Dragon, if you want to call it that way to be exact.
Now that you put it, that actually sounds like a great name to have.
Well, that's why I'm in the business of that. So maybe you could be the Triple Dragon.
When
There
I
was
take when I take his title, I'll, I'll be sure to add you in that name.
Well, you know what? Do you want to be the Sportswire Dragon? I mean, I can make you the Sportswire Dragon. Maybe the
Oh, If you want me to, I would love to be. I would love to do it.
I would love to do that because we don't really have any other dragons on Sportswire, and you have shown what you do in the ring. So maybe we should call you the Sportswire Dragon. How's that?
Might as well. Might as well. Might as well.
Okay, duly noted. I'm gonna keep sticking to that. It's tomorrow. Well, in New York. It's already Sunday. For you guys, you're an hour behind, so that's why I gave you
Yeah.
time difference there. So that's all. There's a semantics there, but we get the point. The Golden Sportswire Dragon. How do you like that?
Andrew, you a genius. Tom, you a genius, but Andrew, I like that name
No,
too.
Andrew, listen, he's traveled all over the world. He's been, a really, famous DJ. He's a famous wrestler. He's been a champion like you. I mean, that's why he's the be all. I mean, I'm just the little guy on the totem pole. So when, you get big out there, you'll just remember that. But yeah, Andrew definitely knows what he's talking about far more than I would know what I'm talking about. So definitely, maybe we got to see Andrew in Resurrection. Andrew would be great in Resurrection. Maybe we can just get somebody. Where is Silvestri? Adrian Prince, good question. Where is Silvestri right now? Usually he's hemming and hawing right now. Silvestri
See, he's slipping. He's slipping.
Silvestri needs to book Andrew Lovelace. He needs to book Andrew Lovelace against Jimmy Controversy. No, maybe not Jimmy Controversy.
Right now.
Maybe he should do something though. He know not to come this way. I'll dog walk him, meaning you, I think.
Question mark, D'Angelo? Question mark? I don't think that's how it would go. I'm not Nelf. Come on now. You can't dog walk me, sir.
Can I make a Neff announcement?
Go ahead.
So I wasn't gonna do it here tonight, but I'm gonna do it because, well, it's Sportswire Radio, and we are about all wrestling that matters. So, making his long-awaited return to Sportswire Radio, the guy that maybe some called the Boat Neff, he's coming back to Sportswire Radio April the 9th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ooh.
The Boat Neff speaks. He's speaking about his future. He's speaking about obviously falling short against D'Angelo LaFlame and anything else he may want to say.
He's finally coming out the water again.
He's coming for round 2 on Sportswire Radio. We had him right before the end of the year in 2023. We didn't know at the time, we thought he had one more match in Resurrection, and we wound up having to wait a little bit for it for different reasons. But we got that match, and he put his career on the line, and, well, he doesn't have a career anymore. So I guess we'll be talking about what could have been, or maybe talking about the past of his career and seeing what the future used to be for the artist formerly known as the Boat Neff.
Nah, he's
No?
not the Boat.
I said artist formerly known. Artist formerly known.
I might kind of turned off on that part. But yeah, I would love to hear what he got to say about his future.
I think a lot of people are going to want to hear what he has to say. That's why we're bringing him back. He said what he said, meaning, I want to ask you, though, a question. Speaking of D'Angelo Flame, and he's been impressive, sure, but you've been impressive also. And I was curious, we spoke a lot about Jimmy Controversy coming here. Obviously, D'Angelo in Alabama with the Alliance Wrestling League, but TBW has done a lot of work with Resurrection Wrestling. We love TBW on Sportswire. I want to continue to put that out there, that my support of sports from Sportswire Radio on behalf of TBW has always been the same. And we are very excited about TBW and the season that's about to start. Season 8 should be starting hopefully in the next week or two. We'll certainly go to the TBW page for more updates. But would you like to see Resurrection Wrestling and TBW work a bit more? Obviously, you've had them there in your venue, and you've been over to them, and certainly we saw what happened in season 7. But would you like to see more crossover between Resurrection and TBW?
That I would love to have them back again because there's more people that I can kind of test the water on, and see how well can I do against somebody else.
You and Russell Cooper again.
Besides somebody that I already wrestled.
How about the Prophet Jaywald?
Ooh,
it's a good one.
I would love to have that match. Then also we get to see Atomic Titan against Dre Golddragon.
And guess what? Atomic Titan's here this Thursday to take his place in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. We're going to get him right after, at some point, the debut of season 8. And let me get to some more comments. I will reach out to you. I know we've been playing phone tag, but we'll certainly make that happen at some point in the month of April. I have a good question for my buddy, Mr. Lovelace. What was the match that tested you the hardest of your career so far?
That match, I gotta say, Adrian Prince,
Why?
because more than before I got the title, it was more of a test of will, patience, and am I able to keep going for what he dishing out? And I'm kind of glad that I wrestled him to turn me into somebody that I am now. Somebody that learned from the beast into being the beast, into being the champion that everybody love and hate, into being somebody that I know at the end of the day that I stand on business.
Do you relish being that person that people hate?
Oh, I love it because if I try to do something that everybody love, I won't be happy and I won't be satisfied on my work of doing. So I kind of care about what I can do instead of trying to please everybody else. Because at the end of the day, won't nobody be satisfied.
Don't they
And
say in the sport of wrestling anyway? It's you should be out for yourself. Nobody's out for anybody but you.
yeah, because like I said, everybody, if I try to please everybody, they won't be satisfied, and I won't be satisfied with my work because I know I could have done better. Instead of me doing what I'm doing now and staying as the person that I only need to please.
There's only one person you should look out for, and that's you.
Yep.
Stephen Silvestri is alive and awake and says your fate will be determined tomorrow. Do you have
Sir,
any
I am
concern?
sir, I am fate. I'm fate himself. Okay? I determine everybody else's fate. Let's not get that twisted again, Stephen. Please and thank
So,
you.
so you're still not worried about anything that could come your way tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
Because even then I have an ace up my sleeves that nobody knows about. Not even Stephen.
Not even Stephen?
Not even Stephen.
How do you think he's done as general manager so far?
Suckish. Because I still haven't got my match with Roddy Alpha, Stephen. You said you gonna book it. You never did.
So would you rather have gone back to Joseph Tibbs?
Yes, most definitely.
Why?
Because at least I would have got my match with somebody I wanted.
So you think that Stephen's really not the man for the job?
He's not.
He should
He's
stick
really
to being
not.
a referee and taking photos at times?
I mean, even then, he's not a good referee. But at times, I do like his work of art and taking pictures.
So he should just be doing photos then.
Yes, only photos.
Okay. He also wants to say that he's got a certain someone coming tomorrow. The promotion committed to wrestling came through and got me a bigger star than a wannabe dragon. Any speculation?
Aww, you finally going to be a decent ref at somebody else's country.
Ooh, okay. Okay. He was feeling the AAA to the gym floor for weeks because that hip hurts. The ace is a hip replacement. Now, do you need a hip replacement?
No,
Well,
I
it's
felt I felt like it was broken when it happened, but I am fine.
okay. Well, it is common in wrestling. I mean, the Undertaker has an artificial hip.
Do he really?
Yeah, he had a hip replacement. It was a few years ago. He actually mentioned it. He had a hip replacement.
Oh wow.
And I'm pretty sure Hogan has an artificial hip as well. A lot of guys do. It's common because of, well, those guys wrestled, 300 times a year. We love what you guys do, but I don't think you're wrestling 300 times a year, right?
No, no.
I
I
think
take breaks. I take
I
breaks
would
when I
say
need to.
I would say a good year for you this year would be what? 15 matches this year, maybe?
I'm gonna try to push 20 matches. I'm gonna try to push
Makes
20.
sense. I had Andrew knows I had Chase Wakefield on. I think he talked about something like 50 matches. maybe 50 matches in a year or something like that was his aim for. I'm friends with the guy Vito Fratelli, who, by the way, had a birthday today. Happy birthday to my buddy Vito Fratelli, and he is actually in the PWI 500, and he actually wrestled like 114 times this past year. He's actually wrestled more than almost all the WWE guys. He's like really well known in Mexico and stuff. But I'm not going to go and say anything further about it because I'm here about you, champ. Steven, the standout will be contacting your office. I know everyone wanted to know answers. Okay. I want to stick on Drake Golddragon. Xavier Thorne, we'll configure about Xavier Thorne. Taker's got a replacement and a few others. Piper had it as well. Yeah, Piper definitely had it. But, speaking of people, you want to say anything to the guy that's coming on here April 9th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the artist formerly known as the Boat Neff?
Sadly, I got nothing. I got no words for him. Sadly.
Will you miss him in Resurrection Wrestling?
50-50. That's a whole 50-50. I respect as a wrestler, I respect him. I do. But do I miss him? That would be me going over and beyond.
Would you rather have
him.
had him in Resurrection still over LaFlame?
I keep LaFlame.
You keep LaFlame?
I would keep LaFlame.
Why?
As somebody that love a great challenge and somebody that I haven't crossed yet, me going against LaFlame would be the biggest match in Resurrection history.
Now, LaFlame is here Wednesday night on his birthday. Yep. And should both of you guys be victorious tomorrow, I would love to pose the question, you versus him, title versus title. What would you say to that?
If it can happen, then let's make it happen. I'm down for anything. Well, it's
up to Silvestri because Silvestri is the one that'll make it happen. But I'll ask LaFlame. I'll ask him.
Because if that happens, I get to show him the reason why I am the greatest technician in Resurrection, in the greatest and longest defending champion in Resurrection.
Dragon versus LaFlame. Get it? Dragon versus LaFlame. Dragon Flames. It's a good line. But Neff wants to say that he don't think it's the biggest match in Resurrection history. He says you don't have a big match feel. What do you say to that?
Well, sadly, I had nobody to give me a big match feel because I went against you and you didn't. You surely disappointed me. Everybody else has just been disappointment after disappointment. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, wouldn't that mean LaFlame or Alexander would do that then for you?
Out of those two, yes, they will.
Okay, that's fair. I respect that. I don't care about the fans. I don't care about your heroes. I'm greater than you, Golddragon. I'm greater than Neff. I'm better than Atomic Titan, and I'm that guy enjoying bringing hell upon Resurrection. Well, you know what? Xavier Thorne is definitely an interesting guy. Maybe we should have him on Sportswire. That might be
maybe we should, because Thorne. The only thing you doing is picking up after me.
But you know what though? But we're Sportswire. All wrestling matters. We let everybody speak at this point. Maybe I should let him speak. Why not?
I mean, hey, this is your show. If you feel like letting him speak, hey, let him speak.
What do you think?
I think he talked the talk, but can't walk, but cannot bag it up for nothing.
People seem to like the talkers on the Sportswire. They like these guys. I don't know. I think people like you have 25 people on watching it right now, but Xavier Thorne, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what to think anymore. What I know what to think is I want to get to Steven Silvestri. Did you already explain that Mr. Standout, or should I say Mr. Roman Impersonator? Who do you think is walking out with the Fate or Fortune briefcase, Golddragon?
Anybody and everybody. I don't care who gets it. I honestly don't. Because
by the way, God.
Yeah, Thorne is a joke, but we're not gonna get on that. But back to what I was saying beforehand. Whoever wins the Fatal Fortune briefcase, they got a choice: me or Alexander. two two people in Resurrection that can give y'all the match y'all so hoping wanted. A title shot and the ass whooping. So at the
Ah,
end, y'all can do what y'all want. Win or lose.
do you know what the old adage is then? Pick your poison. Pick your poison. That's the adage. Let Drake have his time. Thorne is a has been. Uh, I'm gonna head out. Yeah, we're gonna get to closing thoughts here in a few minutes. Obviously everybody's getting ready for the show, and we want everybody. By the way, before we do that, to go to Resurrection Wrestling's pages on Instagram, Resurrection Pro Wrestling, YouTube, TikTok, Resurrection Wrestling, and Patreon. Support them. Resurrection Pro Wrestling. Redbubble.com /people /Resurrection Pro. The matches will all start 2:00. The doors open tomorrow. 3:00 is when first match. So make sure you go out there and support all the guys at Resurrection Wrestling. Atomic Titan, these are the fans why I turned to the dark side. Damn, yes, I saw that, and I'm going to be checking that when I get a chance. I was live on today, and I will be not on till later tomorrow, so I will be around to check that out. And maybe it will be. You know what? People might want to hear these things. I don't know. I don't know at this point, but stay tuned. Never say never. At this point, why not? But you know what? Not about that for the moment. I want to get to a couple final things here before closing notes. First, do you have any final thoughts for Mr. Rage before tomorrow at Fate or Fortune? Any final words for him?
Only words is, hey, you failed once. Do not disappoint me again. This is your last time against me. If you lose, so far as I am champion, I don't want to see your face around my belt, and I don't want to hear your challenge ever again.
Isn't that Silvestri's call though?
At this point in time, me and Dustin is the money makers. So at the end, that should be our call. I guess LaFlame, if you want to count him. But at the big dogs, me and Dustin.
I may not wrestle for Resurrection anymore, but I will be in the building. I feel like Rage might have it in the bag for tomorrow. Woof. I don't know. I don't know. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for sure. And everyone's got their money on Rage, but you're the guy here, and you seem like you're the one that's the confident guy, and you're the guy that's going to retain that championship. But let me ask you, though, in terms of any final words for LaFlame before Wednesday?
LaFlame. Go. I want you to go out there and show me why I should be scared of somebody called LaFlame. Show me the real raw energy that you have, and show me who's better, who's gonna be better tomorrow on point on performances.
He says he legit carried this company.
Low key, no. The only thing you have is internet. You,
But you are the national.
my point. National beats internet. The only thing y'all good for is spreading rumors and clickbait.
Which you don't really believe in the clickbait stuff. You're not the Xavier Thorns of the world.
Yes, I don't believe clickbait or rumors. You gotta show me what you can do.
It reminds me of the song. There's a song, it was an 80s song called Rumors. I'm pretty sure that there's a song out there called Rumors, but somebody can quote me on that. I
There
know.
is actually. I listened to it. It's a
Oh, you
good
did?
song.
It
It's a
was.
good
I'm
song.
glad somebody, Andrew is a DJ. He probably has played this song so many times out there and overseas in the world. So that makes somebody, I actually did think that was a good song. I'm glad that you thought so and I thought so. I know we obviously are getting ready for the show tomorrow, but what does it mean to you to be out there tomorrow? And also, what would you want to say to anybody that's buying a ticket tomorrow and coming to the show?
Whatever you do not get in my way. I'm not afraid to push you back to your seat. Just do not get in my way. And have a great time and let every children be safe. Adults, I don't care. I care about the kids. Sometimes.
Are you
Sometimes.
expecting to get some photos with the kids? Are you expecting to give out some autographs tomorrow? Will you give Xavier Thorne your autograph?
Thorne, he can carry my bag to the locker room.
Oh, really? Are you looking for a guy to carry your bags?
Yeah, his name is Thorne.
But don't you think there's a long list of people in the locker room that would like him to carry their bags too?
If I think about it, yes. That list goes on.
Especially Mr. Controversy. I mean, Jimmy Controversy is very Hollywood like. Knowing Jimmy as I do, I mean, Jimmy's gonna want with Jimmy's got a lot of luggage to be coming in from. He's coming in from Jersey, so I mean, Jimmy's traveling a ways to go to come here. So I think Jimmy's gonna be wanting him to come at the airport. Maybe Thorne should be waiting for Jimmy Controversy at the airport as we speak.
Thor should be waiting outside in a car, sleeping overnight until Jimmy arrives. But
Well,
but enough about Thorne. I love Thorne. He just
it's
not
funny.
bad. Yeah, he is.
That's fun. Listen, and I think Thorne is going to come to Sportswire at some point because why not? Obviously, we've spoke a lot with you. I would love to have you come back on next month, and I would love to have you on more often. You definitely have somebody that I think people should follow on these platforms here: Instagram, Facebook. Also, check out our friends at Resurrection Wrestling. I know we're getting ready for the show tomorrow, so hopefully I can have you come back on here in a few weeks. Maybe we can talk about the fallout. Maybe do something on your behalf, maybe give you a day, maybe induct you in the Hall of Fame one day. I mean, maybe those are things you might be interested in. I don't know. Maybe you want to think about that, but until then, I'll leave out Xavier Thorne's comment about wrestling Ronnie Brady in an Alaska death match before he'll carry your bags. But in the meantime, I want to give you the floor for your closing thoughts, anything else you may want to say. And I wish you a lot of luck out there. I don't think you're going to need any fortune, any luck of the Irish, but we'll give it to you anyway, the opportunity to say whatever else you want. And the floor is yours.
Rage, tomorrow is my day. Everybody who's coming back, think you gonna beat me is crazier than a Rock coming and talking about John Moran. I think it's crazy how everybody don't believe in me. It says that I'm a boring champion. I'm a person with can't speak. Hey,
I thought you
my
spoke fine today. I thought you actually spoke pretty well tonight. I thought we had a pretty lively conversation. And judging by the people on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, it seemed like it was.
I'm gonna say because I'm a champion for a reason. To beat me, yeah, I gotta make sure that I'm not moving or I'm not breathing. Because I'm not letting this go until I feel like it's time for somebody else to have it. Even then, yeah, I gotta get this on my dead body. And I don't think we can say that on YouTube. So apologies on that part.
No, honestly at this point, I don't encourage cursing because we actually have the internet radio station. It's not about YouTube. You could curse on YouTube, but guys, at this point, I would tell them not to, but people do it, and I just let it go at this point because we don't really have 10 million listeners on the internet radio on Sportswire Radio. But if you do have a podcast out there and you want to have live music heard, you can always check us out on sportswireradio.org. But I know tomorrow or today, depending on where you are, will be a great show. I can't wait to continue to watch and support Resurrection Wrestling and all wrestling that matters, and support Drake Golddragon on all platforms that he's on because, well, he's the beast, and he's the beast dragon and the dragon of wrestling. He's the Sportswire dragon. He's the Sportswire Golddragon. So that's why we want to support him and support everybody else that's out there in the ring. So congratulations on all the success so far. Congratulations. It took us 25 minutes, but we finally got on the air. We had a fun conversation. I think this was one I'm happy about, and I certainly am looking forward to tomorrow's show. And thank you for all that you do, and looking forward to bringing you back on maybe next month and maybe doing something nice on your behalf if you would accept, champ. And go get him out there.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for everything. Thank you for having me. Even though everything kind of went downhill,
I think it
for a
actually was.
second.
It all worked out, and I think it all worked out because I think that people had a great time, and that's to me what counts. Doesn't matter when, how, where. It's what happened on the journey, and we made it, and it made it work.
That we did, Tom. That we did.
And we'll do it again. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your reigning, defending Resurrection Wrestling national champion for nearly the past 8 months. He is Drake Golddragon. He's the Sportswire Radio. Golddragon is quoted by Mr. Andrew Lovelace, and he's going to be in the ring tomorrow at Fate or Fortune against the one and only artist formerly known as King Rage. He might be Queen Rage, according to some, especially Mr. Golddragon. And it'll be a great show tomorrow. Our buddy Drake Golddragon is going to be there. Also, Jimmy Controversy, Mac 10, Dustin Alexander, Roddy Alpha. You're going to see Adrian Prince, a slew of other great stars there. Please support Resurrection Wrestling on all their platforms. If you're on Sportswire, Radio.org, you're going back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. with Lydia Myers from Enterprise and Amplified Wrestling. So you will not want to miss that one, I promise you. And thank you to somebody that just subscribed to us on YouTube, getting one step closer to 600 subscribers. So that's always a little fun note there that we're just about there. So one more away, $5.99. So if you're out there watching this, hit that sub button, get me to 600. I'll get there one way or another. But until then, good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And thank you to Drake Golddragon and everybody in Resurrection Wrestling. And we'll see everybody tomorrow.